Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis, and welcome to another week of Living the Wiccan Life. In tonight's episode, we bring you interviews with Larry Cornett of the Earth Religions Legal Assistance Network and with Isaac and Phaedra Bonowitz. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Test mic, test mic. Go. We're with Larry Cornett. Could you explain a little bit of the name of your group?
Well, we've got the Earth Religions Legal Assistance list.
And that was. Could you explain that? For a lot of people we're doing this for don't know much about the legal side of the community. They always talk about it, but they don't know much about it.
Okay. Well, many people involved in alternative religions have faced religious discrimination. And it happens a lot to neo-pagans, and especially those involved in Wicca, in custody cases where it's brought up, and there's all the stereotypes of witches eating children and all this stuff, and there's a lot of negative public imagery that fortunately has been decreasing over the years, but people have lost their custody of their children just because they were pagan, and that was all the judges needed to hear to take custody away. That people have had job discrimination. I've certainly lost at least one position because of my association with paganism.
You've actually lost?
Oh yeah, I was working for Monsanto Research out of Dayton, and when the word got out that I was went to Starwood, and the boss asked me, where I was going for my vacation, and I told him and what it was about. I came back and there was a pink slip waiting for me, and he told me that I would do much better if I, adopted a Christian belief system.
Folks, we're beginning to talk about the ritual in here. If anybody comes by, I'm going to leave the door open until we actually begin ceremonializing. When the doors close, people could still come in if they were gentle.
Fortunately, at the time, I had, was looking, keep my eyes open for a better position, and I had tapped into a pretty powerful cone of power, and the first Starwood, and visualized a job in a more urban, I wanted a cosmopolitan area. And besides having the pink slip, this was actually 81, I think about it. I also had a phone call on my answering machine from Con Edison. So when I had the pink slip, I interviewed Con Edison. I asked if I could have the next day off, and got the job. So I didn't really pursue it at the time, but I knew that this happened a lot. And I'm an environmental engineer. I do a lot of environmental studies, and that involves a lot of legal work. Also, in terms of I've helped develop regulations and do a lot of regulatory analysis and work with attorneys besides technical work about pollution and risk assessment, and that's helped me connect.
Now, you've been with the community a long time.
Yeah.
You're one of the early, I guess, adopters, I would say, or participants.
My first connection with paganism was 1968 at Purdue with the Reformed Druids, but I really got serious into it about 1980.
I've noticed that we're at Winter Star, and this is the 25th anniversary of Winter Star, and the ACE group. I've noticed very much the richness here of people with experience, and whereas and Starwood's a lot of fun, but you get a lot of younger people come to that. We talked a little bit about the fact that discrimination happens, and here you've got probably a lot of people who have faced it. Yeah. So you come out here and you share stories and techniques I've noticed.
Yeah.
But what would you tell the younger people who run into the position of getting discriminated against? How do they know they're really being discriminated against?
Well, sometimes it's pretty blatant.
Okay.
Now, it's not as common as it used to be, because pagan community's gotten a lot of positive press over the years, and it's not as unknown as it was as far as what we're really about, as it was in the early 80s. But you'll have people that basically think it's evil, or and they're you'll have occasionally prejudiced judges and law enforcement people that will pick on people that have alternative beliefs, but it happens, and sometimes it's subtle. And of course, people have their own feelings about who they want to associate with, and I mean, a lot of pagans would just not associate with, right-wing fundamentalists, so you have that culture. That's unavoidable. But when it starts to get involved in legal issues, rights to hold a job or to have keep your children and things like that. That's when there are some rights this country is founded on, freedom of religion.
And that's one of the things I've noticed that people are trying to change right now, the definition of religion in order to move the Constitution.
Yeah.
I mean, because you are of the firm belief that a lot of people are that paganism is a religion.
But so it's a family of religions and beliefs. It's a broad term these days.
From a legal standpoint, what would you say that pagan? Can you say that from a legal point of term, what makes paganism a religion?
Well, it's actually it's a family of religions.
Okay, family of religions.
And
I
there's
apologize.
a variety of definitions of paganism. Most pagans believe that there's many different ways of relating to the ultimate, and that deity, or whatever you want to call it, when it takes a form of personality, it can take many different forms, and there's no one specific personality that's the only valid one for everybody. And but they have relationships with spiritual practice and work with deities to help expand and deepen their consciousness and get help and work in the psychic realm to enhance the opportunities for good things manifesting. I really started out as an atheist. Well, by the time I was in 10th grade, I had rejected the idea of an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good being in the simultaneous existence of evil. At the same time, I knew there were enough synchronicities going on that there was something holding things together, but it wasn't some old man in the sky, especially a judgmental type. It didn't make any sense. So I went into physics and got into quantum physics back in 67, 68, and saw that quantum physics gave a model that fit together with some stuff I was turned on to at the same time with Swami Vivekananda about the nature of unity. A lot of the stuff has become much more popular now, the Tao of physics and various books on the subject. But and so I was practicing Raja Yoga, which is a sort of meditation on the just unity with everything without the intervention or dealing with deities per se. And I was also involved in the anti-war movement and guerrilla theater, and the Reformed Druids started happening at Purdue, and it was like, fun and games, but when we started doing these rituals, they started to get results. We started to see whole chains of synchronicity happening. And so I could see that, by tuning into a given consciousness matrix, which is what I think the gods are, you can find allies, and it can enhance spiritual practice as well as the opportunities for manifestation of things in the mundane world. And it happens very subtly in terms of what would appear to be coincidence, but everything's interrelated. It's not just a random occurrence. You get too many chains of things coming together if you work with a given deity. So I maintain altars to Lakshmi and Ganesha and other deities.
Lakshmi is amongst my favorites too.
Yeah. Other people resonate with other deities, and it's there's joy in realizing the many different faces that deity could take and the different aspects.
Terrific. One last question. If people wanted to get involved with, say, the legal side and helping defend or have a issue, how would they do that?
Well, one can connect on the internet with various networks. Like I've got a web page up that links to all the guidance for dealing with different types of situations. We've got custody cases down.
And what's the website?
I give you a URL.
That's what I meant.
Okay, it's a long one because I started out in the early '80s.
Well, you were one of the first people on
HTTP. This is the best one. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where I got an alliance of all the major pagan rights groups back about 1999 to agree on interlinking.
I remember that.
To the guidance that different groups had. And it would be http://members.aol.com/LCORNCALEN/helplink HELPLINK.htm, and that web page takes by topic whatever type of problem you might have, the links to guidance on how to deal with those problems, as well as links to a web page that links you to various groups. It's also very important to connect, locally with things like your ACLU, or if you have Americans United for Separation of Church and State, and to get to know, people in your community and to find sympathetic attorneys if you run into a problem.
Yeah, because you've been at this a long time. I know that. I remember when you put the 1999, got all the groups to come on it. People were a little shocked at the time that about the internet.
Yeah,
they didn't really know what it was yet. A lot of people.
It was a lot less popular than it is now.
Everything else. Well, thank you for your time. Anything last things you want to say? Because a lot of people are going to see that have never been involved with paganism or just very new.
Well, I would say the festivals are...
Yike! Earthquake! Oh, okay, there you go.
The festivals are a good opportunity to get a taste of different paths. And, you should check out what's happening. If it doesn't feel right to you, follow your own path until you find something that really resonates. And going to gatherings can be very good just to, sample different ways of doing things and find what really works. Other than that, most of us are solitaries. But yet we learn from each other. And you just have to kind of be in tune with your inner truth in the process.
Oh. Well, thank you.
I hope that you enjoyed our interview with Larry Cornett, and that you'll join us again for part 2 of our episode, when we bring you our interview with Isaac and Phaedra Bonowitz. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis, and I'm very pleased to announce the publication in paperback of Witch School's Lessons for the First Degree, available now for pre-order from witchschool.com and coming soon to a bookstore near you, together with Lessons for the Second Degree and Lessons for the Third Degree.